I remember that meeting vividly. One of our clients, Andile, had developed an interest in what we were trying to build with Mr. Mac Learning. Initially, he just seemed curious, but his curiosity blossomed into an excitement about the massive potential market and the other opportunities that could be unlocked if Mr. Mac was successful. And suddenly, he wanted to invest. To us, it seemed like manna from heaven. Up to that point, we'd been bootstrapping the development of Mr. Mac using our own funds. We hoped a capital injection would give us some financial flexibility and help accelerate our progress. Andile also owned a technology company, and this would add incredible value to the development of the Mr. Mac platform. He was cash flush and looking for different opportunities to diversify his business. So based on his offer to invest, we began preliminary discussions and negotiations. And over the course of 3 weeks, had a satisfying draft deal and a term sheet in place. In summary, Andile would acquire a 10% stake in Mr. Mac Learning in exchange for capital injection of $5 million. All the proceeds were to be used for business development, with no cashing out from any of the founders. There was a small caveat though. Andile wanted to have a quick final discussion with his business partner, Mara, and he assured us she certainly supported the investment and the terms he was about to make. We all agreed to do a final presentation to them both, after which would prepare the legal agreements and the related documents for signature. So at about 1 o'clock on a bright winter's afternoon, I set off with 2 of my co-founders to the final presentation in Midrand. It wasn't really a pitch because everything had been agreed on, but we had prepared as thoroughly as if it was. Andile welcomed us warmly. His business partner Mara was a gracious host, generous with refreshments and pastries as we set ourselves up. Our presentation was slick, it was full of passion, and we punctuated it with compelling numbers and metrics, perfectly executed. I led it, and the other co-founders made cameo appearances on key points. Our future partners nodded, they smiled warmly, they grunted approvingly. When we got to the end, Andile said, "We don't have any questions. We believe in you guys. This will be an excellent product, an excellent service, and the potential market is worth billions." Then he hesitated. "We want to do a deal," he said, "but we need 25% of Mr. Mac Learning for $5 million. Oh. Despite our detailed preparation, we were totally gobsmacked. This presentation was meant to be a slam dunk. We'd discussed, we'd negotiated, we'd agreed on 10% for $5 million weeks earlier. This counteroffer was shocking. It was hurtful and we thought somewhat mischievous. I could feel my frustration rising as I struggled to digest their request. My co-founders took over the lead in the discussions just to disarm the situation. To cut a long story short, we never agreed on terms with Andile and Mara that afternoon. Even when they came back to us a week later, offering that we find a way to meet each other halfway, we declined. The sudden change in terms had left a bitter taste in the mouth. Now, that may not necessarily have been the right decision. I personally felt that would be better served working on our platform and our content development without the distraction. And I worried about a sincerity deficit so early in a potential relationship. That was my first direct lesson in raising capital through venture capital. A painful but excellent starting point to understand the venture capital space.